So after playing Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2 in 2022, I started playing Dragon Age Inquisition. I actually first tried Inquisition when it came out, but didn't complete the game as I didn't understand any of the lore since I was missing the previous entries. So that's why I tried it again after beating the first two last year. And after completing Inquisition, I realized two things. One, it's way better than Dragon Age 2, but that isn't so hard to do. I'm sorry Dragon Age 2 fans. But the other thing is, while Inquisition is a good game, it didn't really nail the feeling that Origins gave me. So let's start at the beginning. Literally. You wake up, get the intro, yada yada yada, woohoo, you're special since you can close portals and tutorial's done. And then you enter the first area called the Hinterlands. And it's filled with a crapload of side activities you can do. And this is my biggest gripe with the game. You have to do them in order to continue with the main story, since you need to save up this thing called power in order to progress it. And guess how you get power? Exactly, by beating the mindless boring side activities. And hey, if you like them, power to you, but I didn't like them at all, and especially how often I needed to do them. Okay, let's say it like this, if it was optional it would have been fine, but being forced to do them isn't exactly what I like. Dragon Age Origins didn't need it to stretch game time, so why did Inquisition? This was exactly the reason I quit this game in the first place, because I felt bored out with gathering power while all I wanted to do was continue the main story. But hey, if I can force myself to beat Dragon Age 2, Inquisition shouldn't be that much of a problem. And so I forced myself again to beat it. Okay, but you can say feeling forced to do something is never good, but all I was thinking, this game didn't win Game of the Year in 2014 without a reason.
The winner is Dragon Age Inquisition.
So I wanted to discover what's so good about it. And ladies and gentlemen, after biting the bullet, I finally saw the good parts about the game. Because I did enjoy the story, the main quest and the combat after a while. Especially the combat starts out very slow, but as you unlock more abilities you can pull combos that make you feel really powerful. As in every Dragon Age game, I started as a mage because I love shooting fire everywhere and blow shit up. The beginning was a bit boring though, since you need to wait a lot for your cooldowns and instead use a lot of basic attacks. But I could already see all the different abilities I was going to unlock later, and felt motivated to level up to get them. So I noticed everything took a while before it was getting good. So I accepted this fact and just pushed through. And I started to bond a little bit with my companions, but I didn't like them as much as the previous games. I know some of their companions are the same like Varric from 2, but I didn't like them as much as from Origins, like Alistar, Morrigan or Leliana. And I was glad to see them back as other NPCs in my playthrough, but it was a bit bummed out they couldn't join my adventures once more as playable party members. And now it may sound like I don't really like everything that much in Inquisition, but what I really did like is seeing my past choices from Dragon Age Origins and 2 having consequences in Inquisition. Okay, don't worry, I won't spoil too much, but let's take an example. Since I romanced Morrigan in Dragon Age Origins, it did have some consequences in Dragon Age Inquisition. And that was really cool to see. The choices I made in Origins already made such a huge impact there, so seeing it take fruition 2 games later was even more awesome. And here I really started to connect with Inquisition, and at the same time the main story finally got more interesting. Again, I won't spoil anything, but the Ball storyline and especially the main quest with the choice between the mages and Templars was... oh, it was so good. It was really good. So after this I was hooked and I couldn't stop playing anymore. Literally. And even better, because I was getting stronger and having more access to the coolest spells and combos I mentioned earlier, the side activities became less of a bother to do because combat was faster and more fun. And also, if I remember it correctly, you mostly didn't need to farm as much power as before, so going from side activities back to the main quest was faster as well. It still didn't really excite me to do them, except for some things like the enormous dragon fights. Those were really cool and well done. And after playing like an addict, I finally beat the main story, which ended meh, but I still had to do the DLCs. Again, most of them were meh. I didn't find them really any special, except for the last one called Trespasser. This felt like a true continuation of the story, and I really loved the writing here as well. And I got to see Morrigan again, so yay. While I liked the main story of the main game in general, the ending was just okay in my opinion. But the ending from Trespasser felt way more exciting and like a true ending from the story, because it also filled in some unexplained gaps. And again, for the third time, don't worry, no spoilers here. But the ending of Trespasser will directly lead into Dragon Age 4 called Dragon Age Dreadwolf. And I'm really excited to play that as well. if it still comes out this year. I think it will be delayed, but anyway. If you search up some leaked footage, it shows a gameplay style very similar to Inquisition, being action combat again instead of real time with pause. And I think it's okay. I don't really prefer the action combat over the real time with pause from the previous games, but it was fun to play nonetheless. Especially if they improve it a lot. Then I can see it being as fun as it was before. So I'm really curious to see where Dreadwolf will head next. Anyway, as I said in the beginning of this video, while I still liked Inquisition, I didn't like it as much as Dragon Age Origins. And if you wanna know why I liked Origins so much, definitely check it out after this video if you want to know more. But the reason is, basically everything in Origins is better in my opinion. I prefer the main story by a lot, I like the side quests way more, I think the companions and the writing is way better, the combat is way more consistent, Origins had way better choices, and it had different beginnings depending on your race and class. And that doesn't mean Inquisition sucks, even though it can sound like that because I really enjoyed it as well. But I think Origins nails something unique that Inquisition is trying hard to accomplish that as well. And I'm not speaking out of nostalgia because I only beat Origins last year. But I really do hope Dragon Age Dreadwolf can tip that experience for me. And while it's not as good as Origins for me, let's also talk about what Inquisition does really well. Because I think the game still looks beautiful even though it's already 9 years old. That's right, 9 years already. Because this game released back in 2014. And I also thought the combat system was really good once you unlocked more abilities. You can really customize your own playstyle and every class feels unique from each other. And I really love the abilities were flashy as well, especially since I was playing a mage. Some of the choices in the story were really good, like the one with the Templars and mages, with some of the consequences being totally different from one another. And the music? Oh, that was just fantastic. Not just the music that plays in the game, but also some moments where the characters all start singing. That was a surprising moment and really gave me goosebumps. And I only played through the single player this time, as I know there was a multiplayer mode I tried in the past. But I like Dragon Age staying in single player. I almost said multiplayer, no, single player. So I'm glad that Dragon Age Dreadwolf scrapped all the multiplayer features and will be a single player experience instead. I'm really curious to see where it all goes next, but for me personally, Dragon Age Origins is still the best one, so I hope they will make Dreadwolf similar to that. But I also think they learned many things from Inquisition, and can also implement the good parts from it, to combine it all into the best Dragon Age experience it can be. I won't show any of the leaked footage here from Dreadwolf, as I don't want to get in trouble and don't want to spoil anyone who is keeping it as a surprise. But so far, you know, I think it looks pretty good and I hope to see more from it soon. It's been almost 10 years since a new game, and after playing all 3 games, I'm really looking forward to the next one. But now it's your turn, because I really want to know, if you also played some of the Dragon Age games, which one was your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below, as I do read them all. And hey, if you like this video, feel free to like it and subscribe to my channel, as it helps me more than you think. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.